appointment of the boards and management, issue directives in the interest of public, regulate the operation of bank, and improve penalties. So if you look at, there is nothing new we are learning. We have seen this. We have seen also the function of SEBI, the same slide we had seen when we were looking at the functions of SEBI. So all security market participants have to be registered with SEBI. They have to be, they have to work under the set rules and regulations. They, in case it's a listed company, then they have to meet the listing requirement of the stock exchange. So we've seen the Ministry of Finance controls the RBI and fiscal and monetary policies. So we know the difference between fiscal and monetary policy. Who's going to tell me what is the difference between fiscal and monetary policy?
Fiscal
Hello?
is set up by the government.
I'm sorry?
Fiscal policy.
Fiscal policy is the government policies
Government
for
policy.
expenditure and revenue, whereas monetary policy is a tool with RBI to control the money supply. Is the policy with RBI to control the money supply. So there's, you can read it. There's nothing to explain. It's just a revision of what we have seen. So I think we have seen all this when we were looking at regulations. So RBI is the authority of bank. Who's the present governor of RBI?
Shashikanta Das.
Shashikanta Das. Urjit Patel is no longer the governor. He resigned some time back. And Mr. Shantikanta Das is the new governor of RBI. Sometimes in the interview, they also ask you the governor of RBI. So these are the functions of RBI. So in the interview, if you are asked about the functions of RBI, don't just stick to the supervision of bank, that everybody would know. But we have to talk about the other kind of functions of RBI, like issuer of currency, it's bankers to the bank, banker to the government, manager of foreign exchange. So talk about these kind of roles. So it will give an impression that you know more. Otherwise, it will like supervisory function, everybody knows. RBI also has power to control advances. Now, what are advances? What do you understand by advances?
Loans given by
advances, loans, credit exposure, everything means loans. So RBI has the power to control your advances as well. So power to grant license, power to even cancel license is with the RBI. Even the new directors, if you read the newspaper, you will see that when a new director is appointed, the RBI approval is required. So it was established in 1935. This also we've seen. What is FDI and what is FII? What are these terms?
Can I?
Yes.
FDI means foreign direct investment.
Okay.
Where the foreigners can directly invest in the companies of, the Indian companies.
Yeah.
FII is where the foreign institutional investment, where foreigners can invest in the Indian securities share market.
Okay, yeah. So FDI is direct investment in the company. FII is through the stock exchange.
Yeah.
Everybody understands? सबको समझ में आया FDI और FII क्या है?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Because foreign exchange is coming into the country, so RBI will regulate it. Even SEBI will have its own guidelines as to who can invest and who can invest. But RBI will also be involved because it means movement of foreign exchange.
Ma'am,
Yes, Akshay.
ma'am, in case of FII, who will be the regulator of it? Either SEBI or RBI? Because मैम अगर FII में इन्वेस्ट कोई फॉरेन कंपनी कर रही है
हाँ,
तो मैम रेगुलेटर RBI होगी या फिर SEBI?
सभी भी होगी ना, स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो तो सभी भी होगी।
मैम दोनों होंगी फिर इन दैट कंडीशन।
करेक्ट।
ओके मैम।
Ma'am, can you tell again FII, ma'am? Foreign institute.
Foreign institutional investors. So foreign
Okay.
institutional investors are entities which can come and invest in the stock market. They can buy and sell shares on the Indian stock exchanges.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
is there any special tax provision for FDI?
they must be, but it's out of scope of its course to discuss it. There
Okay,
are, there must be. Yeah. So this is a mixed. I think this is a afterthought. This session is an afterthought because we have seen all of this somewhere, at some point in time. So NSDL, what is NSDL? What kind of entity is NSDL?
National Security.
Ma'am, it is one of the depositories in India,
It is one of the depositories. Yeah, correct.
which was
And,
started initially.
Yeah, it's the first depository.
Yeah.
And CDSL is the second depository. This is just data. We've seen the function of SEBI. It controls the securities market in the country. So it regulates the primary market, secondary market, mutual funds, and foreign institutional investors. So this, I think we have seen, you can just read it, nothing to explain. Oh, this we've seen the other day when we were looking at, okay. Now let us look at regulations. So we know this all has changed. Huh? All of this has changed. But you need to tell me the definition of all of them. So you can start from Anu. Anu के बाद Gautam. Gautam के बाद Saran. Saran के बाद Jayanti. And Karthik. Okay. So Anu, tell me, define cash reserve ratio. What is cash reserve ratio?
Can I, ma'am?
No. Everybody should know about all these terms by now. We have seen it many, many times.
Ma'am, Sierra.
Yes, Anu, we are listening.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. मैम बैंक अपना मैम सारा मैम मिनिमम अमाउंट of the fund the bank have to keep with RBI. मैम जैसे बैंक अपना कुछ फंड जो RBI के पास जमा करती है 4%, मैम उसे
4% है
मैम मैम परसेंट 4% मैम RBI को
4% है अभी भी 4% है कितना है
मैम अभी
anyways yes so yes a cash reserve ratio is the amount of cash the bank has to keep with RBI.
Yeah.
And how is it calculated?
calculate.
Ma'am, net demand into time liabilities.
Yes, it is calculated as a percentage of net demand and time liabilities. और अभी वो मैंने explain किया था. अभी
Yes,
अक्षय ने
ma'am.
पूछा था, so I explained. Okay, now Saran, Gautam, what is repo rate?
Repo rate is the rate at which the RBI lends money to commercial bank.
Very good. और अनु, I expect an answer like this, क्योंकि ये इतनी बार हम देख चुके हैं, उसके बाद आप इतना टाइम लेके आंसर करो, it's not acceptable. You know, you should answer like this. The moment I asked, गौतम ने तुरंत reply दिया कि repo rate. See, this is my feedback. If you want to explain, I don't want to hear. आपको अपना खुद होगा जो भी है, but you have to be that, you know.
मैम थोड़ा सा दिक्कत है.
But think, you know, if you and Gautam go for the same interview, who will get selected? You should not come back and
Ma'am,
tell me,
थोड़ा-
no, Gautam का तो selection हो गया, मेरा selection नहीं हुआ. ये मेरा feedback है, आपको लेना है, आप उसे उसमें लो, नहीं लेना है मत लो. But please don't come and tell me, मैम उसका selection हो रहा है, मेरा selection क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? ठीक है? Anyways, I don't want to discuss it. If you want to, you know, explain every time I give you a feedback, it neither helps me nor helps you. Okay. Saran, what is reverse repo?
Reverse repo rate is the rate which the money supply is to be decreased, ma'am. The bank banks keep the excess money with the RBI.
Yes, bank keeps the excess money with RBI. The rate at which banks keep their excess money with the RBI is the reverse repo rate. Now, all these percentages have changed. You will have to be updated on this. All this has changed. Now, what
Ma'am,
is?
for which, ma'am, can I?
Yes, no, infant.
Ma'am, so under reverse repo rate, so commercial banks will be getting a percentage
They
of.
get an interest. Yes.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
So this is not the percentage they get the interest. This is the percentage of their NDTL they have to keep with RBI. This is the percentage at which RBI lends to the bank. This is the percentage at which the banks keep their excess money with RBI.
the reverse repo rate is to reduce the liquidity, right, ma'am?
No, all of them can be used to either create liquidity or reduce liquidity. Even cash reserve ratio. If RBI increases the cash reserve ratio, what will happen? If RBI increases the cash reserve ratio, what will happen? What will happen to the money supply?
It will
Will it
decrease,
affect the
ma'am.
money supply or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What will happen?
Liquidity
Liquid will be
Liquidity
Yes,
will be
ma'am.
reduced.
And money supply will decrease.
Yes, money supply will decrease. So all of them can be used as tools to control the money supply. Okay, fine. What is who was next in line? Karthik. What is SLR?
Minimum
Liquidity ratio.
percentages is called SLR.
I'm sorry.
Minimum percentages of called SLR. SLR is fixed to RBI.
SLR is what? What is SLR?
From your liquid cash for the gold or
Liquid
others.
cash. Cash is liquid.
Yes.
What does it mean for the bank? What does SLR mean for the bank?
Before offering of credit
Then before offering of credit,
to customers.
And,
Yes,
and
but-
ma'am, it's changed time to time. Ma'am,
it can change. Yeah, it can
Ah.
change as per the monetary policy.
time to time.
Yeah. But what does it mean?
Ma'am, liquid assets to demand and time liabilities.
That means the bank needs to invest in liquid asset as a percentage of NDTL. You know, so both CRR and SLR are as a percentage of NDTL. The amount the bank have to invest in liquid security before they lend. Before the bank start lending, they have to keep some money in liquid securities. So, for example, the bank has 100 crores. So, bank will have to invest 19 crores in As of now, it is 19 or 19.5. So bank will have to invest in liquid securities at the rate of 19 crores into liquid securities before they lend. Now, what is bank rate, Jayanti? Jayanti, bank rate?
Yes, ma'am.
What is bank rate?
Yeah, ma'am. Bank rate is the rate by charged. Sorry, ma'am. The rate charged by the central bank for lending funds.
Which
to
is the central
commercial
bank? Which is the central bank?
Which is a central bank?
You tell me which is the central bank for us. Or what is a central bank? देखो आप गूगल से पढ़ के बताओगे तो मुझे तुरंत समझ आ जाएगा ये सेंट्रल बैंक कहाँ से आया हम लोग आरबीआई की बात करें तो why are you using the term central bank
Bank rate
rather
is a
than
long
RBI?
term rate, ma'am.
Sorry, ma'am. Charged by RBI lends to commercial bank. Bank rate is a rate of like, ma'am, short-term loan.
Long term loan. Bank rate.
Bank rate is for long term.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So we might not have covered this particular session, but most of the things we have covered. So it's a kind of revision. Okay. So licensing of bank is done by RBI. We all know. So these are some norms for private banks, which we don't need to know much. There is norm for FDI as well, not of too much importance to us. There are certain reports which have to be filed by the bank.
Ma'am,
With the RBI,
I have one doubt, ma'am.
Yeah.
I was actually going through these definitions yesterday, ma'am.
Mhm.
But it is given that bank rate is actually provided like the central bank provides for short-term purposes only, ma'am. It is like a tool. That's what I read.
No. See, okay. So if you look at both repo and bank rate are the rate at which RBI lends, but in repo, it is also known as repurchase agreement.
Okay.
So that loan is given on, on the security of some kind of securities, but of some kind of investment. Okay. Now the difference is that bank rate is for a longer term. Bank rate is for a longer term than repo. Repo is very short term.
Okay, ma'am.
So the main difference between repo and bank rate is that repo is a short term loan compared to the bank rate. Bank is a long term rate.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So this also we don't need to know norms merger. We know the major reforms in India happened in the early 90s. The LPG regime, we have also done an activity on this. And at that time, the investors, the private sector was allowed to form banks in India. Before that, the banking was controlled by the public sector. So bank like SBI, Bank of Baroda, and all that had major share in banking. However, it was for banking reform, it was decided to allow private parties to do business in India, and then banks like HDFC, ICICI, Kotak, all were set up. So this all we don't know. We don't need to know. Okay. We understand monetary policy. Monetary policy is the policy of RBI to control the money supply in the country. So it talks about credit creation, statutory reserve, discount rate, and the government bond issues. So open market policy, if you remember, where the RBI decides either to raise money through these bonds or to sell these bonds to control the monetary policy. Fiscal policy is about the government revenue collection and expenditure to influence the economy for stabilizing growth. So fiscal policy deals with taxation as well as government pricing. And obviously that's why the taxes keep on changing. Every time there's a change in, the change will be through the monetary policy. There's a change in tax, it will be through the fiscal policy. This is also known as the union budget. All this we have seen actually. We've seen expansionary, neutral, contractionary. This all we have seen. This is just a all this we've seen. So I hope all of you by now understand this. Only this we have not seen. What is open market operations? Sonam, what is open market operation?
मैम ओपन मार्केट जहाँ पे मैम बॉन्ड सेल एंड बाई किए जाते हैं.
Correct. So open market operation is the activity by RBI where it buys or sell government bonds to generate or reduce liquidity. Manoj, what do you understand by credit ceiling? Credit ceiling का क्या मतलब है? हेलो मनोज, आपको मुझे एब्सेंट मार्क करना चाहिए क्योंकि आपकी आवाज कभी सुनाई नहीं देती है. स्वाति श्रीवास्तव, tell me what does credit ceiling mean? क्रेडिट सीलिंग का क्या मतलब है?
मैम क्रेडिट सेलिंग मतलब मैम क्रेडिट लिमिट.
Yeah, so credit limit set by RBI to lend to a particular sector, that is credit ceiling.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And credit authorization का क्या मतलब होगा? What will credit authorization mean?
Ma'am, it is loan approval by RBI.
Yes, so very high value loans are approved by RBI. All the banks can give very high value loan only after they have an approval from RBI. So that is credit authorization scheme. So open market operation we just spoke about, buying and selling of government securities in open market to expand or contract amount of money in the banking system. Okay, so when RBI wants to withdraw money, why will RBI want to withdraw money? In what circumstances will RBI want to withdraw money?
To control inflation, ma'am.
To control inflation. So in that case, it sells the government bonds. However, in case it wants to include liquidity, then it'll purchase the bond and release money.
When RBI decides to boost the economy, then it will
correct
purchase bonds.
Okay, so cash reserve is the minimum amount of fund that bank has to keep with RBI. So this is an example. ये हम बहुत बार देख चुके हैं. So if the bank has a total liability of 10,000 crores, 1,000 crores, it will have to keep 90 crores with RBI. If the cash reserve ratio is increased, the liquidity will decrease. And if cash reserve ratio is decreased, liquidity will increase. SLR is the amount of money which the bank have to invest in liquid securities. Liquid securities means the securities which can be converted to cash. Bank rate, the rate at which, yeah, so repo for short term, bank rate for longer term. Reverse repo, the rate at which banks keep their excess money with RBI. Moral suasion is like a kind of persuasion technique by the RBI. So RBI is a regulator, it can give direct instructions, but certain case the bank the RBI requests the banks or persuades the banks to do certain activities. So that is what is moral suasion. So moral suasion is just as a request by RBI to commercial banks to take certain actions and measures in certain trends of economy. A persuasion technique used by an authority to influence and pressure, but not force banks into adhering to the policy. Credit ceiling we have seen is where RBI issues prior information that the commercial banks have to give loan to a certain limit. So in this case, commercial banks will be tight in advancing loan to the public. And credit authorization scheme is a scheme by RBI for high value loan. Okay. So this is just data, nothing else. I am not going to look. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about Basel Accord. Now, Basel, if you know, is a place where the Bank of International Settlement is headquartered, BIS.
Ma'am, can you repeat it?
International. Can you repeat it, ma'am?
I'm writing it.
Oh.
Or BIS. Now it's an international agency, and because especially after the collapse of Lehman Brothers and the financial crisis of 2008, it has become more active. Okay, so it has come up with some norms, and RBI in India has also agreed to follow those norms. Okay, and these are known as Basel norms or Basel Accord. So there are certain things, I'll just come to that, certain things which the Bank of International Settlement wants the banks to do to reduce the risk. Okay, so one of it, one of the provisions or one of the regulation or recommendation of Basel is what is known as capital adequacy. Now we understand capital. What does capital mean for a business? What does capital mean for a business?
Investment.
Investment, revenue.
Investments?
Yes.
More. I want more clarity. Capital is the total money the company has, right? Through the investors. It can be debt capital, it can be equity capital, right?
Yes.
Right. So Basel says, in case you are a bank, you have to maintain capital adequacy. That means you need to have enough capital, right? So for example, as the total loan given by the bank, it's a very, very crude explanation, very, very broad explanation. for you to understand. So if the bank has given loan of say 100 crores, Basel says the bank should have at least 10 crores of capital. So that is the capital adequacy norm of Basel. That means the business. I think this we have seen also when we were looking at the difference in the balance sheet of a bank as compared to balance sheet of a company. We had seen that the kind of business any other business line can do is not dependent on the capital. It depends on their capabilities or their capacities. But the business a bank can do strictly depends on the amount of capital they have. Okay, so if a bank has 10 crores of capital, the maximum business they can do is 100 crores. That is what is known as capital adequacy. In case the bank wants to increase this 100 crores to 110 crores, what is the first thing the bank will have to do? What is the first thing the bank have to do? क्या करना होगा बैंक को? The business they can do is capital adequacy means the business they can do is dependent on the capital or it is linked with the capital. So if a bank wants to improve the business to 110 crores, what is that they'll have to do? Nobody can answer? Nobody has understood it? So if the capital adequacy is 10%, what would it mean?
Increase in capital adequacy.
Correct. So capital adequacy of 10% would mean that the bank, whatever business the bank does, the capital should be at least 10% of that. So in case the bank is trying to increase the total business of 100 crores to 110 crores, the first thing it will have to increase the capital. How much? Now, how much should be their capital? Well, this is a simple calculation. How much should be the capital of the bank? So if they want to do 100 crores as business, their capital has to be 10 crores. If they want to do 110 business, what should be their capital?
11 crores.
11 crores. 11, ma'am.
11 crores, correct. So that is the first Basel law. So it talks about, Basel also talks about supervisory control. It talks about market, banking supervision and market discipline. Yeah. So,
Ma'am, so can you just give me the give us the meaning, ma'am? It is it is an international agency which helps in
Bank of International Settlement.
Okay.
It's known as Basel because it is this bank is based in Basel, a city in Switzerland.
Okay.
So it gives a set of recommendation for regulation in the banking industry. So Basel came in because of the failure of banks, and especially after the 2008 crisis, they have. Yeah, so this is again the same calculation. So risk focus on mainly on capital adequacy ratio or liquidity ratio. So the bank can lend up, the total money bank can lend is dependent on the capital. So bank capital adequacy ratio should not let, as of now, RBI has said 9%. So bank have to maintain a capital adequacy of 9%. So these are various things which Basel concentrate on. It first thing it concentrated was credit risk. What is credit risk?
Not to repay by debt.
Not getting your borrowed money back is credit risk. So banks are obviously very susceptible to credit risk. बैंक में credit risk बहुत high है क्योंकि उनका business ही यही है. So Banking Regulation Act defines the business of the bank, which means the bank borrows with the further purpose of lending. If the money doesn't come back, it is a credit risk. And Basel therefore defined the capital adequacy norm based on the risk the bank is taking for giving that loan. So it had at that time it had defined at 8% of risk-weighted assets, but now RBI says that we should maintain it at 9%. Then it focuses on capital adequacy, better risk management techniques, focused on all three types of risk, which is operational risk, market risk, and credit risk, and mandatory disclosure of risk exposure. So it talks about capital, leveraging, funding, and liquidity. India has adopted Basel norms as well. Whose mic is on? So basically, Basel norms are recommendation by the Bank of International Settlement for reducing risk in the banking business. So it tries to control all the risks. So it also tries to control the operational risk. Now, do you understand operational risk? Operational risk? What do you understand by operational risk?
Ma'am, management risk, something related to that.
Not only management.
Ma'am, I mean the operations of the banking activities. The risk related to the operations of the banking.
Yeah.
Like physical events.
Correct. So the risk associated with everyday banking, even if one tries to withdraw cash through a check, there is a risk. You can, end up paying the wrong person, or you end up paying the wrong amount of money. So every day-to-day work of a bank has a risk. So the bank should look at all the risk comprehensively and try to reduce it. So various provisions to reduce the risk of a bank. So bringing new regulation, regulating new markets, bringing new firms into regulatory arena, providing new rule making and enforcement powers to regulators.
Ma'am, I have one doubt.
Yes, Infant.
Ma'am, so the current Basel norm percentage is 10%, ma'am. So
no, it is 9% actually. Oh,
okay.
9,
For
8, 8.
example, you gave 10.
Yeah, for example, I gave 10. Yeah. Easy to
So
calculate.
So currently we are in the third Basel, ma'am. Or
see, now it is an ongoing process,
Yeah, I understand that, but there is something called Basel 1, Basel 2.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm asking in that perspective.
Yeah. So the latest is Basel 3, correct?
Okay.
So basically, it is about various regulations to control the risk. Now RBI and other
can we call it as like the stages?
I'm sorry, what?
I mean they are classifying it as 1, 2, 3, no? So
Yeah,
can
these
we,
are, yeah, because they are the Bank of International Settlement is coming out with certain regulations. So see how it happens, there are certain things which you don't know. So when you are making the guidelines for the first time, you will not know about them. So you will not include them. Then some kind of fraud will happen. So then you'll know, okay, this is also possible. So you'll include further guidelines and so on and so forth. It keeps on, changing or
upgradation of
progressing.
guidelines?
Yes.
Okay.
So next is the Dodd-Frank Act. So we will not see this because it's not relevant to India. So let this be. Now FATCA we need to know because FATCA declaration is it's taken by India also. It is just taking an disclosure from the customer if he is liable to be taxed in the US. So US being the big brother and a very what to say strong country, it has got into agreement with all the countries that every time they are opening a new bank account or a new business relationship, they will ask the customer if he has any source of income in the US, because then it will be taxed. So this is this form is an annexure with all the account opening forms. For most of us, it will be zero. Most of us are not liable to be taxed in the US, but every time we open an account, we have to do a FATCA declaration that we are not taxable in the US. So this is to avoid money laundering, especially of the US.
Ma'am, one more doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, so the Basel III norm will be followed by all the countries in the world, right?
Yeah, they might choose not to follow. It's not that it's a mandate.
Okay.
It's not a mandate. So RBI has done it for India. It's not necessary that every country will follow and every country has to follow. It depends
Okay,
on the central bank.
Okay, but most of the central banks around the world will.
Yeah, it is about reducing the risk in the banking system, so they would want to follow it.
Okay, ma'am.
So, so if you look at this was more like a revision of sort rather than anything new. So I think we have finished the entire semester, semester 3. We don't have anything else to learn. But I strongly recommend that all of you read the the mutual fund book which I've sent you, because that will help you clear all your doubts about investing, risk, time frame, taxation. And it's not that just because we finished semester 3, you can't clear your doubt. Any doubts you have regarding 1, 2, or 3rd semester, we can talk about it anytime. We can have extra classes, no problem in that. But you need to prepare yourself well for your interview. Okay. Fine. So I think we've covered everything. In case you have any other questions, we have a couple of minutes left. You can ask, or we can call it a day. And then we will meet face to face for your mock.
Ma'am, so you have covered the topics under this topic, ma'am. The topic.
I've covered. I think I've covered everything. Nothing is left.
Law and practice of banking.
Yeah, law and that it was nothing. Actually, we've covered everything in different other topics. I don't know why they have added a presentation like that, a separate presentation on that. We've covered everything. Yes.
Ma'am, a doubt, ma'am.
Yeah.
If a question is asked like this, ma'am, bank has like you said, 100 crores amount, like 100 crore rupees, and you're asking like how much will the bank be able to lend money, ma'am? So based on the regulations of RBI, we have to set aside few amount, ma'am.
Correct.
So we have to, if they ask a question like that, we should like add both CRR and
Correct.
SLR.
And SLR. Correct.
That's it, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's it. Because when you were telling, you were like specifying only CRR, no, ma'am. You asked.
No, CRR and SLR both.
Okay, ma'am.
So I've explained it many times. Maybe I have not said or told you this time, but when I was explaining CRR and SLR, I'd explained taking both into account. So see, The difference is CRR would be kept with RBI. SLR will be with the bank. But that is invested on, obviously the bank cannot net. So if you look at the working of the bank borrows with the further purpose of lending. But RBI says before the bank lends, it has to keep some cash with RBI as CRR, and it has to invest some money in liquid securities. Right? In liquid securities. So if they have got that into, if they have spent that money already, if they have used their money, they will not have it for lending. Right? So yes, CRR and SLR both have to be included. Yeah, anything else? So if you don't have any questions, I'm calling it a day. Acha, on the day of mock interview, I will ask you to switch on your camera. So please sit in a place where you can switch on the camera. So don't be somewhere in the market. It's only a period of 20 minutes. In those 20 minutes, please be available at a peaceful place where we can interact correctly. And also please dress up formally. I would expect you to dress up formally. Okay. So maybe
Ma'am,
you
what on 25th, ma'am, on 3 o'clock?
whenever is your time slot. If it is on 26th or the day of mock interview. The day of mock interview, I expect you to dress up formally and have at least 20 minutes to yourself where nobody disturbs you. You sit in a place where there is no disturbance. We can clearly interact. Okay. So then I'll be able to give you better feedback.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, fine. So then we will meet for your walk on 26th or 27th, whenever it is, 25th or 26th, whenever it is. Okay. So bye-bye.
24th, I think so.
24th.
25th, ma'am. Right, ma'am. 25th.
25th and 26th, no?
Yes, ma'am. 25th.
Tomorrow you have a soft skill class.
Soft skill.
24th is a holiday. 25th and 26th are your mocks. So please remember your time slot and join in time.
Yeah, first time. Mera hai.
Okay.
Ma'am, on 25th, 3 o'clock, we will have the MCQ exam at 3 o'clock, right?
Correct. Okay. Sure.
Okay. Thank you.